One of the most common questions I deal with when I visit different classes and students of different ages is, Mike, why are you third? And this question comes up because we're used to people always aiming to be the best. When a Hollywood movie production company takes on a blockbuster movie and they sink millions and millions and millions of dollars into production and advertising and post-production, they're not aiming to create the third best movie of the year. They want to make the #1 movie. When an elite athlete starts to train, whether it's for a professional sports team or for the Olympics, or a team begins a season, they're not aiming to be the third best. They want to be the very best. And so it seems counterintuitive that anybody would target third place. Well, if you want to understand why I aim for third place, you have to go back to the Gospel of Matthew. And there's a point in the Gospel of Matthew where a lawyer approaches Jesus and says, "Which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Now, in the Jewish law, there are 613 commandments. And Jesus answers, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind." This is a commandment that comes from the book of Deuteronomy, where God says this is what's expected of us. We are supposed to come to God and give God our whole heart. Love Him in all that we do. This is why we pray. This is why we go to church. This is why we try and draw near to Him and follow the different things He asks of us. But Jesus continues and He says, the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Now, in a lot of ways, you could say that loving God and loving neighbor, this is a summary of the 10 most famous commandments, the ones that we know the best. Because the first 3 commandments all deal with loving God. Have no other gods before me. Don't take God's name in vain. Keep holy the Sabbath day. These are all about what it means to be in right relationship with God. The other 7 commandments all look at what it means to be in right relationship with our neighbor. How do we love our neighbor? So what you've got in this response that Jesus gives to this lawyer is you have a summary of essentially the 10 commandments, the whole of what it is to be a follower of God. Now, one of my spiritual heroes, a woman named Catherine Doherty, she summed this up a step further and said, well, if you're going to be a Christian, you have to love God, you have to love your neighbor. Basically, what that means is God comes first, my neighbor comes second, I am third. So for me, the reason why I'm third, it's not a question that I'm perfect at this, but this is the goal of my life. This is what I'm training for. I'm not training to be first. I'm training to be third, to try and live my life in such a way that it's obvious that God is the first and most important relationship in my life. And that after God, my neighbor, everyone I encounter, comes second, leaving me third. It's my goal in life that I will love God more tomorrow than I did today, but less than I will the day after tomorrow. It's my goal in life that the acts of kindness that I do aren't random acts of kindness. They're deliberate acts of kindness that come up in every moment, in every circumstance, every opportunity that I have to love and serve those around me. While it might not make sense at first glance to try and aim for third place in a world of people who are always trying to be first, it really is a good way to sum up all of what it means to be a Christian. And maybe you're not perfect at it. I know I'm not. But we can work at it. We can work at it trusting always in the mercy of God that meets us where we are and tries to bring us along bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. And so the question that I pose to you is, how can you love God tomorrow more than you did today? And in what way can you show love and care and compassion to your neighbor tomorrow in a better way than you did today? And in doing so, obey the first and the greatest commandment and the second one too. God bless you.